So, why a lot of people really suffering today's world, the world that's supposed to be the happiest place of all times? I think one of the main reasons is people don't understand what they need to take responsibility for, and also they don't understand why they need to take that responsibility. And I think everything comes from this, from understanding why you need to do that, why you, because before, in previous generations, people didn't really have that need to, and had that privilege to ask why, because they had to survive, they had to fight for their life. But the conditions of today's world are drastically changed, and the brain by default is very lazy thing. And the more comfortable we get in our life, the more importantly it becomes to work with our mind, because the more comfortable we become, the harder our brain, the harder it is for us to make our brain work and to make it do something. It also depends on what kind of person you are, because people are different. But in general, when you're comfortable, it's hard to make the brain work. You have to, and outside conditions is the first thing that would make you uncomfortable, right? Not yourself, like I'm gonna start waking up at 4 in the morning, etc. It works too, like discipline, but when outer circumstances pushes you, it's just you can do nothing. You don't have a time to fight with that comfort. And this is what the previous generations had. But we, even if you are poor and you're just working your mediocre job, generally at some point if you are burnout and depressive and you're really deep in that, it's easier to give up, because basically you have covered all your needs. Like you have food, even if you work, even if you're working, even if you're working a mediocre job, it allows you to cover your basic needs. So, and when you have internet and you see other people having a beautiful, bright, and successful life, it's even harder. So it's really important to work with this, with our brain, and it will be crucial for future generations and people in the future, because in the future it will be much easier, as it is now, to make money and to become happy and to have all the possibilities the world has to offer. But it will always come to this, because people will probably, it will be easier for people to survive, so it will be easier to get comfortable. Does that make sense? So it's important to understand and to make it clear why you have to take that responsibility, why it have to make sense for you, why it makes sense, and if it doesn't make sense, why you keep doing that, why you don't change, why you stuck. Because we all want to be happier, right? We're like in pursuit of money and goals and different stuff we don't really think about, but it's in general, the main reason is we all want to be happy. And there's a lot of different things that you don't have to be happy, you have to make money, men's thing. But I think as a man, happiness is a really versatile term, and if you're working a lot and if it's hard and if you struggle, but you see the reason is clear, the word, the question why is answered, then you're gonna be happy. There's different levels of happiness. This is another thing, but in general, you will be okay, and this is what it should be like. And this is what it should be like. So, what is a real happiness, though? Because we all want to be happy, right? But what is the real happiness? Where does it come from? The real happiness in the pursuit of our goals and in the comparison to others, especially in social media, we stop really questioning ourselves. What is the happiness for us? Because we want to be happy, right? Is it money or power or resources, like possibilities to make more things in your life, family or health or discipline? I think the more control you have over your life, the happier you are, just naturally. Even if it's hard, even if it makes you tired and everything, but the more control you have over your day, over your life, over your schedule, over your resources, the less slave you are of something, and the happier you are. There are things that can increase that level of happiness, but 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 fundamentally, everything comes from this, from having control. Because having money makes you happier. Yes, because it gives you more control over your life and over your schedule. Because if you, let's imagine you are working corporate and you're making a really good money, but you want to do something else because it just exhausts you. It's not what you want to do, it's not who you are, and your environment is not the people who you want to be surrounded by. So by the time, it just drains you, and at some point you stop really seeing the point of making those money, even if your bank account looks great, because you don't have any control over your life, and you feel that just subconsciously. You don't have any control over your day. You just have to work for somebody, and subconsciously you feel, you understand that you're a slave, and because you are, if you don't live the life that you want to live. I mean, it doesn't mean that everyone has to live the life they want to have. There are different responsibilities too, but I think all people have to aim there, because again, I think another thing that makes our world the place it is today is a lot of people just don't do what they want to do, and by time it just drains them, It just makes them just go crazy, makes them mentally unhealthy, and it leads to different decisions and different circumstances that affect other people. I think if everyone do what they really want to do, not like just chilling in a couch, smoking weed and stuff, but responsible shit. If everyone do the things that, if everyone work on things that they really want to work, and they are able to make a living from that and grow inside of that, they're just, it's just basic, it's just simple, there will be a lot more happy people in this world. So which means the world will become a better place, right? It's just, it's just simple. But to make it to make it is not simple, of course. So because we all came to this life not to work, to not work for somebody. We came here to live, to build a business, to create something, to follow your heart. And following your heart can be very hard too, even harder, because it takes more responsibilities, but it doesn't steal your happiness, because in that case you are in control of your own life, and also you're growing in that case. And the reason why you're growing, because you're interested in growing, because it's what you really want to do. But when you don't want to do something and somebody tells you that you have to go and get another degree, advance in your knowledge and stuff, and you're not interested in that, you will never become best in that. Which means you will just be like continue rolling in that cycle of suffering. When you're tired, you take a vacation, you take a little break, and you go back to working, and it just exhausts you, and then your different aspects of your life starts going down, and you are trying to balance everything, but nothing works, because there's a logic behind our world and how our universe is structured. And if you just if you know that you don't do what you want, and you keep suffering, and your anxiety becomes stronger and stronger, and you still don't change that, life will just keep you, life will just keep pushing. It will just keep pressuring you until you either break and fall, or you break and overcome. Because you just subconsciously know that it's not what you want, and but you just keep running away from it. And the beauty of this is basically people who follow their heart, they just are more in control of their life, even if it's not that bright when you look at them from the outside. But they have more control over their growth, over their circumstances of life, and over their destiny in general. And the beauty of this is you will have this control only if you understand what responsibility is. Yes, there are some people who just blindly go follow their heart, and some of them become successful and we see them on TV, but I'm pretty sure there's much more people who were unsuccessful and who just broke and who just became drug addicts or other kind of addicts. And I think this is because they just didn't understand the responsibility of taking that path. They just wanted to go all in that art thing or whatever they want to do, and they just went all in, but they didn't understand the responsibility for that action. So as human beings, we have mental alerts that our brain developed by the evolution. It's sort of mechanism of the brain to survive the struggle that human beings 1,000 years ago had to overcome. And one of these alerts is anxiety and another procrastination. You heard of these words, right? What happens when you're anxious? Your consciousness narrows. It just becomes like a tunnel vision. And so the more anxious you are, the less conscious you become of your life, less aware and less reflective. So eventually, when you're when you're anxious for too long, you just become like a zombie, because your body, your brain, you mentally get used to that feeling in your body, and you just take it as normal. And at that point, you just become a zombie, because what makes us different from other creatures, human beings, is the variability and the wideness of looking at this world, which we get from the possibility from our, which we get from the possibilities of our brain, right? So when you become like a zombie, you're losing a big amount of control over your mind, which means you're losing control over your life. And this happens mostly when you're avoiding responsibilities, because if you try to track your anxiety, why it comes, and in which moments it comes, and in which moments it volumes up, you will see that it's in the moments when you are avoiding something, when you are not doing something, the same as procrastination. So anxiety actually comes from procrastination. So and you procrastinate when and procrastinating meaning avoiding responsibilities, because you choose something and you feel that you want to do this, but you are just running away from this and avoiding this. And it's not totally your fault, perhaps, because usually we don't avoid it. We don't avoid things just because it's funny or something. We usually avoid them because we have something here, something doesn't work with, or something we can't work with, something that doesn't fit into what we want to do, some like mental issues, traumas. So like not starting when you wanted to start, not doing what you wanted to do, not keeping a word to yourself or to others, not changing things that don't work, and avoiding working on it, or falling for excuses. It all creates that anxiety loop, even when you have a good excuse. Because it's funny, but no matter how hard we try, we cannot deceive ourselves. And a lot of mental issues comes from just from that, from deceiving ourselves. And as You can still trick your consciousness, but you can trick your subconscious. As all therapists, psychologists, spiritual teachers, and other grown individuals say, don't lie to yourself. It's the first thing uh, to start growing, is to be objective, and um, to see things more clearly, because maybe you can work on something in your head, but you are just not making it clear to yourself. You just keep running away from it, and because of this, you just your brain don't see what to work on, what to work with. So it means just don't lie to yourself, uh, because you can't just deceive yourself. Dealing with life is hard, and we have a lot of in that hidden box inside our mind, but lying to yourself, running away from it, it's the worst thing you can do. And surprisingly, but if you look around, literally everyone does it. All the source of joy that we abuse, like drugs, nicotine, alcohol, etc., for most of them is just an escaping tool. And why is it happening? Because people didn't take responsibility when they had to, most of the times. And instead of doing it, they're still running away from it. Illusions, this is what it's called. Illusions are characterized by the fact that they steal your time. They just steal your lifetime. And this is why it's really crucial for people to be happy. It's like a long chain of certain things that you can work on to reveal what's inside, and by repairing what's inside, you are becoming closer and more in touch with this world and with the reality, and you are becoming more capable and able to embrace the life the way it is, because you are already working on it, and you're coming from illusions. You're coming it's like a it's like a seal on your eyes that you are taking. And yeah, so with all that being said, true happiness comes from being conscious, being aware, living in the moment. People really misunderstand the right concept of phrase living in the moment, but maybe I will talk about this in another video. So true happiness comes when you take responsibility for your current situation, right? And act accordingly. This takes you out from that chain of illusions, and with time, it rewires your brain, rewires your mindset, changes your actions, subsequently changing your identity and changing your life afterwards. This is the chain that. So let's just summarize it. Taking responsibility is what grounds you, brings you back to your life from illusions. When this happens, we usually face the reality we don't want to accept, and we are trying to escape. This is what I was talking just a little before. Eventually, it breaks our mind, breaks our body, gives us anxiety, gives us mental issues, makes us lose control of our life, makes us unhappy, depressive, lost, and drained. It creates a falling loop that sucks our energy all the time. All this is enough to keep our mind distracted from the actual problem, and then we just start undervaluing the life itself. And when you are in that state of mind, you start seeing yourself as a victim of your life. Then your identity changes. You become a victim of your life, and the victim will never be able to take necessary action, because this mindset disrupts the brain's patterns, affecting your energy and motivation. Your brain loses the motivation to change your life, to grow, and to take control. You lose the inner drive toward living your life. So the overall formula of happiness is you need to take responsibilities, because this is how you grow, and the growth opens new doors in your life that makes your life more interesting and makes your life and makes you more involved in it. The better you're playing, the more you enjoy the game, and life is the biggest game that we have the access to. So it was just a brief, but not too brief, look into a team of responsibilities. There are also, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, different kind of responsibilities, and I will probably talk about them in other videos. I know this probably will be a long video, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna cut it because this is my first video. But if you, which I doubt, but if you really finish this video, I hope you realized something and you understood something and it made sense for you, and I hope it will lead to necessary action. Maybe this video will inspire you to take. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the other videos.